It started like we thought it would. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Forbidden Lands. Within seconds of the start, every time we're like, yeah, we're doing good.
Oh, I was good today. I waited, Dan.
It wasn't even me this time.
It wasn't. It wasn't Bloody.
It was awesome. Was what it was.
No, she was. You know, I feel like you've just taught so well that now you just sit back and get to, look at them go.
Oh, my babies, they grow up so fast.
They're out of the coop and
Thanks,
flying
Dad.
away.
My dad is a great example.
Oh, good Lord.
We love you, Dad.
Welcome in, everybody, to Forbidden Lands. It's good to have you here. It's good to be back. Hi. I have a lot of caffeine because I think about half of us are running on, like, I don't know, a few hours of sleep. So that is always my favorite way to Monday, really. You know, so we're just gonna, we can just jump in. Do we know who we are at this point? Have we figured that out? We had some hiccups, so we should probably just get into it. No good with that? Good.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
Good. No, it's talking good.
Wait,
We're
what?
doing it.
Who? What?
Huh?
Oh, so I'm Bloody Faster,
Yes.
and you can find me on Twitch.tv. Wait, is that what we're doing?
Twitch.tv/Lynn.
That's normally the end, but
Okay.
I'm bloody slower.
Oh.
Wait, wait.
Wait a minute. Is this
Huh.
a joke? Is this a joke because of my name?
bloody fast.
Is that whiskey inside?
Bloody fastest.
Where's the whiskey? I want some.
Is it? Yeah. Is this it? Because I prepared well today.
It looks like
Pickle juice and whiskey.
Oh.
It's not. The picklebacks are great.
like
Anyway,
what my
let's-
lord
I like
is, isn't
whiskey,
it?
but no.
No. It's like grapefruit liquor. Anyway, why are we talking? I said we're diving in and this happens.
I blame
There's
Cat.
a door.
It's the cat's fault.
The door, right? Yes.
Cat
the door.
has ruined. Cat has
Take it
ruined
away,
me, and I
Dad.
love it. That's all I
Hold
gotta
the
say.
door, everybody.
We need to recap,
door-
Dan. You need to.
Yeah,
we
that's
need
Door's
what
to
I'm
already
gonna do.
open. The
need to
door is
recap.
opened. I'm muting.
Yeah.
Same.
Good. All of them lovelies muting. Welcome back, everybody. Last time on Forbidden Lands, our party, well, they argued a little less, but there was a lot of discussion. I said a little less. Our dear poisoned Nickel is feeling much better. He woke up bright and early to try to figure out what's going on in this strange city of Banuk. Unfortunately, a number of them going around looking for information, trying to talk to different people, and determine why they're so well off here in the desert. Didn't really go as planned. They spoke with a smith that seemed all too eager to recruit them so they can belong here and live here. But other than that, wouldn't even trade with them until they got full permission or became one of us. But there was a task from Dorcrick off in an Old One facility behind a waterfall, hoping that our not mercenaries, our travelers, would be able to aid them and get this done, and then they'd answer more questions and help them out and maybe even give them supplies and let them be on their way. We take place now as the door opens, this automatic metallic door of the Old Ones, and bright light, unnatural, floods into this cavern space. And Dorcrick motions with his wide grin. Please, lead the way.
Are you going to tell us what the problem is? Why
Yes,
are we
but
here?
I must show you first.
I give him a very aggressive look.
He just smiles.
So, have you been here before?
Yes.
How deep does it run?
There are maybe 6, 7, or 8 chambers.
So, you have been 6 or 7, 8 chambers.
Yes.
Hmm. I just look at Nikhil. We need to know what we are getting ourselves into. Have you lost any men, soldiers here? Or
No,
was it? Oh, okay.
No.
Hmm.
Please.
You first.
Very well, but I'll have to stand in on the inside to shut the door.
Why do you have to shut the door?
Animals, sandstorms, if there's any sort of thing, we don't want anything else to come in. And he steps into the door.
I'm a bit confused as I start walking in. You want us to help you with this, yet you're being very cryptic.
I want to make sure that you understand what you're getting into before I describe it. It'll make sense.
What does this place look like that we're walking into here?
So you step in. Did everyone walk in? I suppose is a better question.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would be
Yes.
turning on my focus as well.
Okay. So, yeah, he steps in, and after the last person, you see him kind of wave his hand at the door. And it shuts. Your eyes take a minute maybe to adjust as it's very bright. It looks like a functioning Old Ones facility. The floor is polished, shiny. There's a large panel in the middle of the room. It's almost dome-like, and you see along the walls glass shelving with plants on the inside growing. And there are people, more of the Banuk, walking around between the cases. It looks kind of, for us, almost like a large greenhouse. Little humid in here.
Is this food?
Yes, this is where we grow most of our food.
Interesting. I think we should take a better look, closer look.
Well, don't get too close. They are working right now.
I would not interrupt them. I would like to see what kind of food you grow here.
All sorts of vegetables and fruits.
And meat?
You can't really grow meat.
Well, you did get some though.
Yes.
Yes. Where did you get your meat out here in such strange lands?
I can show you that next, but that's part of the problem.
Please explain.
The gods have blessed us. Unfortunately, the blessing is running out. This is a facility of the Old Ones, a shrine to a god. And that god can manifest food and proteins and meats.
Manifest how?
A machine. glorious one.
I would like to see this machine.
I would as well.
Machine
course.
that makes meat. Interesting.
Let's see. And he starts like kind of looking around and then pulls out a card. Just a small sheet of material, some sort of plasticky, and holds it out. You'll need one of these. And he just
Trying to
like
pluck it from him.
it's a sacred pass. It allows you into certain areas of facility. There was a collapse. I think we need help getting the machine back on, or many will starve.
So then, are we here to repair the machine?
Yes. But it's dangerous, and that is why we need someone who can handle themselves. As
How
I've
is it
seen,
dangerous?
Collapses bring in unwanteds. That part of the facility we've sealed off for our own safety just in case.
And that's all.
To my knowledge.
Okay.
Does
Well?
it seem like that answer was truthful?
Go ahead and give me an intelligence-based insight check. Difficulty 5.
Okay.
It's gonna be a good day today.
Oh, don't jinx it.
Don't
Ooh.
dinks it at all.
Don't dink
I
it.
meant to say
I'm sorry if I did. Okay,
No
I'm
one's
just
gonna
excited.
jinx it.
I'm excited.
Why would you dink such a thing?
Leave me alone!
I'm sorry. Okay.
What do you think? All right.
You succeed. He is truthful, but something is being left out.
Okay. Well, I am intrigued.
I am too, but what do we receive as payment for doing the service for you?
Well, you
I
said
wonder-
you were passing through, right?
Correct.
Well, I can make it so that the shops can provide you with some supplies, some tools, perhaps, maybe even some weapons.
So you'll give them permission to trade with us, even though we are outsiders.
I did say give.
Huh.
He smiles.
I do like handouts.
As do I.
Well,
You'll need a lot of supplies and water to get across this desert.
Correct.
Do this for us, and we can set you on your way, well equipped.
And shake on it. Thanks in my
Of
hand.
course. And he immediately shakes.
We have
I'm gonna
ourselves a
start.
deal.
I'm gonna start walking towards. Is it this way?
Oh, yes. So you would see a large, like almost, probably 15-foot wide door set at the very end of this dome.
I would be catching up to Zaidi as well.
And Door Crick has walked ahead to the door.
The old ones were this big.
I can't
don't
imagine them
understand.
being that tall. Most of the constructs down in the tunnels that we were in weren't this massive. Maybe it's decorative.
Whatever it is, sounds like fun. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
About how far is Dorkrick from us while we're having this conversation?
10, 15 feet.
I'd like to lean in to Zaidi and Manasa. He is most definitely hiding something.
Oh yes. That is absolutely it. Maybe we will become the meat.
I say
After we
I say kind of like under my breath. Oh, I know. But we're going to figure out what it is. And I'm sure doing this deal with him should yield some answers.
If we are able to yield afterward.
That's right.
Well, let's get it over with.
I'm probably still by Door Creek.
Okay.
I say, so, what can we expect?
Well,
Have you seen what happened, or what has anyone said about this place?
well, it was mostly automated. Like, we didn't have to do anything. The gods specifically ran it for us. We don't understand a lot of how it works. But
You know that it was broken. Someone went inside?
yes, unfortunately, they were injured coming back and did not survive. But they did mention there was a collapse.
How did they mention there was a collapse if they didn't survive?
They got partway out and were hurt. They mentioned it and passed.
They
I
died
think they
from
were
debris?
crushed. Yes, I think so.
So you only heard their voices. You didn't see anything.
No.
All right.
Be prepared.
I'm going to walk up to the rest of the group and say, Dorcrick just told me something very interesting. It appears that they were not very well versed in the use of this place, but someone went to see what the problem was, and apparently before they were able to return, they believed that the place had collapsed and they were killed. Dorcrick,
Wait,
no one saw what happened. They only
They've
heard
been using
what
this
happened.
facility in order to get what they need to survive for however long enough to form some sort of a civilization, and they don't know how this place works?
It appears so.
that is bizarre.
Not everyone has the critical thinking or capacity to figure out such things. People
There's
like to
a lot
depend
of
on
people who live here.
Yes, but if you all notice, they're part of something bigger. Their faith is what keeps them glued together.
Do you think they have been brainwashed?
What does that mean?
What?
We
to
could talk
wash
more while
one's
we're.
brain is to use water?
We could
I
talk
believe
more.
so, but I mean, I've heard the word. Look, I don't know if they actually wash their brains, okay? But
I have a theory, but we need to go. So let's.
I am ready to go in.
Yes, let's go in, and then I can explain what I think might be going on.
Uh,
I'm gonna ready my
Okay.
bow.
I slide up to MK. I also want to know where they get the meat.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's tasty meat. But I got some limits too. You know?
Well, hopefully when you have your food, it is not full of us. He kind of like walks off.
Wait, what did he just say to me? I would never eat you. You
Come
wish.
on. Come on. I walk in. What, is the door opening or are we getting ready to open
No,
it?
he's just been waiting at the door.
I'm
for y'all to
waiting
get
at
to
the
him.
door.
Yeah, I would be waiting.
I have my
Yeah,
sword.
same.
I have my sword ready.
Alkali,
I
do
just
the
kind of like
spirits tell you
unsheath it
anything?
at this point.
If I take a cursory glance with my focus inside the room that we're trying to go into, do I see anything?
No, these are very much protected doors, like you can't see past it.
Okay.
You've seen this a couple of times in Old One's facilities, just outright. Now, the cursory glance, you can roll, but just a cursory glance, no.
Right. So I'll just wait till we open the door to do any
Okay.
rolls.
Okay, but yeah, it's blocked. Some of the times the Old One's walls were too thick for you to be able to see through. What did you say? Anxiety?
I just said, come on, let's go. Is the door opening? Like, it's,
Gotcha.
you know,
Okay.
I want to open the door. So I'm going to the door trick and be like, shall we?
All right. I'll open this and I'll have to shut it behind you. We cannot have anything breaking out.
When we are ready to leave, we will bang 3 times on the door.
Understood. All right. Well, good luck and may the gods bless you. And he pulls out his own card and swipes at a panel. And the doors slide open with that same bright light that you're standing in. And you see about a 20-foot corridor in width, lined with more glass shelves along the sides. And it goes down maybe 100 feet.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out for anything strange looking, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Cursory
like
glance.
close to
I'll
the
see it.
ground, prepped as well.
Do we want me to go first?
You have the
Yeah.
sight.
So I'll step in and I'll take a look and see if I can find anything with my focus.
Okay. You see little pings pop up at like each of the glass cases. You've seen this before as well, when there's like little like hollow information panels. And that's each one of them seem to have that. As you get closer, more pop up when they get in range. If you're to
Interesting,
walk
okay.
in like 30 feet.
Yeah, I'd probably start walking in.
What are the rest of you doing
Yeah, I'm
at
following.
the doorway?
Yeah, I'm following
I'm
behind.
following them. I'm kind of like
The door,
close to
the door
him.
is shut, right, behind us.
Once the last person steps through, the door chunk.
Well, we finally have some privacy without any prying ears.
We hope. I don't know. I look around. I'm just looking for anything, like any machines that would sit in the corner.
Go ahead and give me an insight check or a perception with intelligence. Difficulty 2.
All right. Mm-mm.
$16.
Perfect. Yeah. You don't see anything at all. No machines, I should say.
What is this place? It's different than that cauldron that we were in.
Yes, it is. I wanna go
Is
to
it supposed to be? Is it supposed
cauldron?
to be a cauldron?
That's what I find very odd is a cauldron is providing food for people.
Huh. Okay. I don't know. It's where's everyone? Where's the machines? What is happening? What is going on?
There is something more than what he was telling us. I think we all sensed it.
Yes.
Well, I suppose there's nothing else to do but to walk in further.
Great. Those panels, Dan,
Mm-hmm.
on the shelving units, would I be able to just assume that they're kind of just some way to open the panels or something, or...
So it's a little hollow panel. Yeah, you could definitely assume that. They're like glass cases, glass shelving. So
And there's nothing in them?
have you walked up to any of them?
Yeah,
Because
I'd like to walk
not
up.
at a cursory glance, you can't see unless you walk up.
No, I'd absolutely like to walk up to one and take
Yeah.
a look.
Seeds. Rows and rows and rows of seeds. All labeled meticulously.
What's over there? What do you see?
Lots of seeds for growing things?
Like plants? Plant
Yes.
seeds.
Yeah. Organized really well, too. Did they say that they come into this part at all?
Dorkrick said that someone came in to see if they could find out what the problem was, but that person fell into a collapse. I don't think they know anything about this place.
I think they're not letting on to more than what they know. I think that they have been here before. If you notice, there was multiple things of vegetables, fruits,
Yeah.
plants, all out in front within this facility. I wouldn't put it past them to want to explore more of it, especially if there are valuable things such as resources and food, like the seeds.
Agreed.
Perhaps they also use it as a storage facility.
Does the shelving look like it's kind of dusty?
Give me a difficulty 2 intellect check. It might be a little dusty, at least at the tops of them, but they could be being used recently, or maybe they've taken some time. It's hard to tell.
You know what really bothers me? We have seen so much fruit, vegetable, seeds. Not to be like MK or anything, but we really have not found their source of meat. They were in abundance.
It is strange. The guards had told me that there was game around the oasis, that they were hunting from there. Merchants were gathering their meats from there. But I don't
They were
know.
lying.
So Dorkrick told us something different just now.
I believe so.
Well, if you think about it, the guards would want to hide something like this. Dorkrick tells us otherwise, though, because he needs us to trust him, because he needs us to fix it. That guard was mostly lying, making a rouge, hiding what was really going on.
Come to think of it, did we even see any animals while walking here?
And
Nope.
Not even a bird
I was
chirp.
looking, trust me.
well, everyone needs to be
Machines.
on guard. For sure. Shall we scout?
Of course. We ready to go?
I can go on ahead.
Be careful.
I'll watch our rear.
I'll go up front with you, Nicole.
All right.
And you all walk forward as you pass rows and rows. There's got to be hundreds or thousands of different kinds of seeds here. As you pass more and more, and maybe sure enough, as you get deeper in, it maybe gets a little more dusty. The air, maybe closer to the door at the end of this, is just a little more stale.
How big are the jars of seeds?
They're not jars. They're like little packs.
Oh, they're little packs?
Yeah, they're like little packs of seeds in there. Now you don't see the labels. That's a focus thing, but you do see the packs, and you don't see any obvious handle to open the cases. But they are there, and they're, decent sized.
Okay.
You doing anything with that knowledge, or just thinking to yourself?
I was going to see if I could figure out a way to open it.
Are you going to try? Or are you just thinking as Manasa?
I'm going to use identifying lies, danger, importance. Would that work in this situation?
It works in most situations. It's just a matter of what you think success will be.
Figuring out a way to open it.
I think that's more of a
Or like
problem-solving kind of thing, rather than you wouldn't be able to you could figure out maybe if it's trapped.
Okay, yeah.
But you wouldn't be able to open it with that skill is more the answer there.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to figure out if it's like trapped or whatnot.
Okay. Well, give me a difficulty 4 check, intellect-based. See if you find anything dangerous about these.
I'm not gonna put any effort into it. I know.
Saving your points?
The 4 of you would see Manasa kind of dip off a little bit and walk up to one of the cases. And doesn't look like it's trapped, but you also can't find a handle of any kind.
I'm gonna run up behind Manasa like really fast. Wait. Put his hand on her shoulder.
What?
I don't know for you to take stuff like this. There are no shards back there.
I wasn't taking. I was merely observing. And possibly procuring items that were not being used.
I'd like to tell you that he said do not touch anything here. Before we know what we're dealing with, are you sure?
Like I said, I was just observing.
I did not see a thing. And he kind of winks at her and walks away. He kind of he likes the way she thinks, because he's a lot of people probably don't know, fights dirty is his thing. So he's kind of like things that are out of the ordinary and stuff. He's like really into it. And he just kind of walks off and try to kind of block her. So what in the world are we getting ourselves into today? And he walks up to MK and puts his arm around her.
So I didn't wait. Did I figure out if it was? I did figure it out if it was.
Wasn't trapped.
It doesn't seem trapped of any kind, but you also there's no handle. There's no obvious way to open it.
Would I see her struggling with this?
Well, I wouldn't be opening anything. I would just be more so like
she
you'd
just
see her hands behind her back, and she would be like kind of like on her tiptoes here and there, just kind of like looking around.
Is there a panel on that shelf in particular that she's standing in front of?
Yeah, they're on all of them. Absolutely.
I'm like a kid in a candy store observing
Is there a way
the
I can
case.
sell their own stuff back to them? Of course.
There must be a
Or
way.
other passing buyers that we see in the desert.
She'll turn around and sell them to us.
I'd like to go up to Manasa though.
So you walking past me now? I'm trying to block people.
Yeah, I mean, pretty obvious that she's over there unless you're really trying.
I'll pat Zari's arm and just move past.
Zadie, what are you doing?
I am just happy to be here with you guys. More life and death situations. Because I definitely don't want MK seeing what they're doing, because she might just let me get back here.
I would never.
Just start eating seeds.
What's happening there? Huh?
It's just nothing. Two friends. They've been through a lot, so they're starting to,
Are we going
their
to
thing.
scout ahead or not?
Yeah. MK,
That's the
we have to
intention.
help. Let's go. I am with you, Nakel. I follow your lead.
She's still looking.
I'm gonna go to them. I want to see what they're doing.
I think they need alone time. Trying to hold her, but she's like, gotta pull. I'm trying.
Alone time.
Let them have a little time
Oh,
to themselves.
okay. Okay. I don't wanna. Okay. I get it now. I get it. Okay, let's go. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I still kind of try to catch like a glimpse of what's happening because I'm
MK,
curious. But...
meat might be this way. Remember?
Okay. Fine.
Yeah. You're our
Fine,
best tracker when it comes to meat. You know where the meat is.
You know what words to say. Okay. Fine.
Kind of look back at the girls and just be like, and then walk forward. Nickel!
The three of them walk off up the hall. It's the two of you at the case.
What were you thinking?
Oh. What are you doing here? Don't you have a panel to examine or something? Weren't you just with Nikhil?
I saw you looking at this.
Yes.
Was there something in particular you wanted to do?
Just observing it.
So if I said I could possibly open it so we can investigate whether or not they've been possibly
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if you happen to stumble upon something that may possibly open it, I'm sure that it would make my observation of such a contraption more thorough.
I'd like to go ahead and touch the panel and see if I can get the case open.
It doesn't right away. Looks like you need higher credentials is what pops up.
Manasa, that thing that he handed to you, can I see it?
I flourish it out of my hand. This?
Yes, that. And I'd grab the key card and take a look at it, see if it interacts in any way.
Yeah, it's got its own little tiny hollow that'll pop up, and it shows it's a little garbled. You can't quite make it out, but it's looks like an image of a kind of younger, maybe 30s-ish blonde man, but the name is kind of glitchy right below it, and then it looks like level 2 access is set underneath it.
Okay. And does it interact in any way with the actual panel itself?
What are you doing with the other panel? Just you're holding the card. What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to open it, but do I see anything where like a key card would be scanned or something like that?
Not necessarily unless you're trying something. It just looks like the panel is there with the seed names and like the little opening symbol.
I mean, I guess I'll try and like hold the key card like up to whatever panel I'm seeing.
Okay. Yeah, you hear a little beep. And the little turning symbol that you know goes green.
Oh. I think I just gained some access, and I'll go ahead and open it up.
And as you do that, the little glass panel on one of the shelves, the one that you opened, kind of flips up toward you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Does it look like anything's been taken?
I can't really tell. Are
It's just
you...
I was just saying, there's just packets of seeds lined up, kind of leaning up against each other.
Going to look at them. I'm gonna kind of like sort through them or flip through them with my fingers. Interesting. I'm gonna snatch a pouch out and see if anything happens.
Nothing. You're holding a pouch of seeds.
There's probably enough seeds in this pack alone to make quite a lot of food. this whole facility or cauldron could support more than just what's outside.
It's a fair point. I'll leave the acquiring of shinies to you,
Oh,
whether or not you want to
acquiring.
take it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was just merely observing. And through my thorough observation of such contraption, I find it necessary to procure evidence for later investigation.
That's a very logical and fair assessment, I would say.
I know. And I'm just supposed to be a merchant. And she bags like 4 bags of seeds.
Any particular
All right.
kinds you're trying to look? You're just grabbing whatever.
I'm going to, I don't know if I would think that I kind of am familiar with some seeds, so I feel like I would probably get like vegetable seeds.
Yeah, there's a lot of carrots in this particular case.
Yeah.
So
All right.
that's what you get. You get a couple different varieties of carrots.
Okay.
And you just mark
All
that
right.
you have 4 bags of carrot seeds.
Are we done? Have you collected enough evidence?
Yes. This should prove quite promising if we run into something like this again. And she
Of
smirks.
course.
It turns around. All right, let's go make sure that, MK doesn't stuff something in her face that she's not supposed to eat in here.
Okay. And is there possibly a way I could arrange the seeds a little bit to make it look like nothing was removed?
I mean, you can definitely try.
I would love to try.
Okay. That's going to be, I'd say, probably int deception check.
Okay.
Difficulty 2. You didn't take that many.
16?
16. All right. Yeah. You rearrange them a little bit to make it look like the space in between them is more on purpose rather than because things are missing.
Right. Okay. And I'd like to close the panel if possible as well.
Yep. It closes, no problem.
All right. Shall we?
We shall.
And we're going to go to the other 3 during this time. Meanwhile, those scouting ahead are walking past rows and rows of seed cases.
Still more of the same.
Yes.
This is a very strange place.
Also, I want to know where they're getting so many of these. There was not much greenery out there or anything. I understand they had the waterfall and all, but all from that one place? And this massive allotment, and not even counting the ones out there that are full grown. Almost more stuff going on in here than out there. I know they said the machine was doing it, but weren't we supposed to fix a machine? Or is it only the machine that does, the god that does meat?
I don't know. This place is very strange, and I wonder how much further we must go until we even encounter this collapse.
Didn't
Yes,
he mention 7 or 8 chambers?
that is the strangest part. Is that normally, I know I keep going back to the meat, but meat goes bad, spoils. We have to go this far back for that? You would think it'd be more closer up front. Something is not right.
I agree with you.
We can't do much more than keep an eye out and have our weapons ready. So let's just keep moving.
Well, should we wait for the
Someone-
others or just keep going?
We can scout ahead, I think. There's only one
Okay.
way to go here. So perhaps someone should keep an eye up above just in
I
case
can
we
do that.
encounter any more of those creatures that we ran into in the cauldron. If it was so close by in the cauldron, perhaps there are some here as well.
Actually, MK, I think you would be perfect for that. I'm gonna keep low to the ground, feel for vibrations, any signs of anything that else has happened that they're trying to cover up.
Is this ground here, by the way, or is this? You said they were polished floors. Is it
All
still
the
here?
floors still. Mm-hmm. Very sterile.
I'm gonna sort of tap my foot down and say, I don't think any more of those snake-like machines will come through this ground.
I hope
Let us
not.
hope.
So, okay. I don't have ammo for my cannon. And as much as I'd like to start throwing it around, I don't think that will help us at all. I could try elbowing whoever tries to come in here.
And you know, I think swinging your cannon could do
Yes?
a lot of damage, if need be.
You know what? I like the way you're thinking today. I like the way you're thinking today. I agree with you.
Yes, so sling it about if we get in kind of trouble.
But if I break it, it's okay, I'll fix it.
Exactly. Now we're starting to think alike a little bit. All right, Nikhil, let's go.
Yes, we continue walking.
And after a very brief moment, you arrive at a normal-sized door, not the giant door from before. Still all that same kind of reflective metal for the doors.
Is there a panel or anything?
Not that you can tell. You haven't been able to see those normally, unfortunately.
How thick is this door? Can we hear?
You can totally attempt to.
Okay.
Just trying to listen through the door, in difficulty too. The walls are also very unadorned. There's no decoration or employee of the month panels or anything like that.
Man, we should have Alkali here with us.
She was supposed to scout ahead with me.
14.
I don't know what happened.
Well, shh. Okay. Something happened, okay? This happened.
What does that mean? Making fire?
No. I mean, I don't think. Okay. The ladies wanted some alone time.
Why, yes. They talk often. Or not, maybe not enough as of now. So what are you saying?
Wait, but you said that they. No?
I am not used to this motion.
Oh.
What does that mean?
I wouldn't. I would
they
never want
starting
to
a
be
fire?
crass.
I would think she's trying to kindle her.
I mean, I guess if you do it long enough, you might.
What are we? You know, I've seen magic before, but not like that. I'm going to listen on this door to make sure we are safe when we go through here. But you continue to formulate your words, and I am interested in whatever that means. One sec.
You rolled a 14.
Yes. Okay. I DM'd him what it was, but that's okay. You hear buzzing, but not like a bee, more like mechanical. You can hear past this door.
Nikhil, ready your bow. MK,
Yes.
hold your cannon real tight. There is something beyond this door that we may not be ready for.
What is it? What is it?
This is a buzzing, kind of grindy type noise. We might be able to find out where they actually get their meat by the sounds of it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me grab it. I'm gonna swing it real hard. Okay. Let's do this.
We see MK pick up her cannon and almost have it ready to go like a battering ram or a very large log to swing. It's a makeshift weapon. And after a moment, the other two catch up.
They're back. Hi! Welcome back.
Did we miss anything?
So there's buzzing. Past the door. So please ready yourselves for any immediate danger.
Buzzing?
Yes. And apparently you can make fire. So bring that too. We may need that.
I think any of us can make fire if you've tried to survive long enough in the wild.
I'm very skilled at making fire.
Are you?
Yes.
No?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay. Well. Shall we? Actually, wait before we go. Can you use your sight?
Yes.
Thank you.
If I look towards that door, do I see any sort of panel or anything like that?
Yes, a hollow doorknob shows up.
And I'm assuming that the door's the same situation where it was too thick with the material to see through as well.
This one you can see through.
Oh, I can.
When you were walking up, you even saw Zayody like pressing his ear to the door and saying something. So you can see through this one.
Okay.
Now, when we say see through, just a few things get picked up, and it's usually stuff that happens to be like, you know, animated, like it's moving about like a machine. But you do see what looks like you can't read it, but there's some panel or something on the other side of this door.
I see something I may be able to take a look at when we go on the other side, but that's it. I can't see anything else inside. We have to move further in.
All right, prepare yourself. I'll open the door.
I will take out my tear blaster.
I'll have my bow ready.
Have my sword in hand.
And my cannon in hand.
So how are you opening the door, Nikhil?
Does
You
it have a
cannot.
doorknob?
No.
No?
It has the hollow,
He gave us the.
and that's it.
Didn't he give us a card?
Yeah, I have the card right now.
She has that, yeah.
Yeah,
Nikhil?
I look like I'm ready to boot the door open then.
Nikhil, no. Let
There's
me
no
try.
time for him kicking that door
yes.
square open. We can surprise what's on the other side.
I can open it, I think.
You're going to kick it open?
No, I'm going to use my focus.
Ah. I still gotta get used to this.
So I'll go ahead and I'll try and open the door. And if it's the same prompt as before with like the needs higher access, I'll use the key card again.
Okay. Yeah, and it opens.
Yeah, I immediately scan with the bow.
Yeah, and I have a sword ready right beside.
Okay. So Nikhil kind of pokes his head in, puts the bow around, kind of checking corners, and you see machines lining the wall, looking like they're... I'm trying to think of a good way that would visually... It looks like they're leaking a material onto a base. A little arm is moving around and leaking a material, moving back and forth. And then after it gets to one side, it goes to the top and continues again in that same pattern that it's doing, but you can't tell what pattern it is without checking. But it looks like there's 4 different machines doing that Though 3 of them have nothing leaking out, only 1 of them does.
You said they're machines. The machines are the ones that we're looking at that are doing the spray thing, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
What does the spray look like? Can I see? Does it have like a color from the distance I'm at between the machines and the door?
Not easily for you to tell, especially with Nikel in the doorway.
Okay.
You also see another door off to the right, Nikel, in this room. It's a little dimmer than the others. Same kind of floor. You see stools near some of the machines. There is a table that has a few stools next to it with those like plastic strips that you've seen that you've been told are old one interfaces, but you've never seen anything.
There's another door in here, and more machines. Going to make my way in further.
I'm gonna step in behind kind of quickly, just getting in front of Alkali.
That panel that I saw before, it's still in front of us, right?
Yes, yeah, it's at that table.
I'd like to go take a look at that.
Okay. Yeah, there's one of those hollow panels that you can usually get information from the old ones.
So we're entering in through the door, right? Like Nikel moved and stuff. Okay. I'm going to go towards the machines that are spraying stuff. I'm not gonna like go directly under them, but I'd like to go a little bit closer to see exactly what they're doing.
Okay. We'll get to Alkali first before that, but I do want to know where everyone else is / what were they doing before we address that.
I've just got my head on a swivel with the bow, and just kind of looking to see if anything jumps out or whatever.
I'm off to
Same,
the right.
probably
I was
cannon.
beside Alkali. Then she walked off, so I'm just got my sword ready.
Okay, so you're kind of in the middle of this room. It's not that big of a room. Probably the machines that are leaking this liquid or material are, I don't know, about 3 feet wide, maybe chest height, so you can kind of see, like, think a standing desk height, that sort of thing. So, okay, good to know for everybody. Alkali, you're looking at this panel, and it says Artemis Project, food reproduction.
Does it have like any prompts on it, or is it just like kind of a console window?
It doesn't have any obvious prompts on it, no. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you have to try to interact with it.
Right. Okay. I'd like to try and interact with it, see if anything
Okay.
pops up.
Yeah, so you kind of wave your hand over it, kind of like magic almost, and it activates, turns on, and it asks for a username and password. You've seen those words before.
If I take a look at that key card, you said that the name and everything were kind of jumbled up.
Yeah, it was glitchy.
All right. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to come back to this at some point. Take a look around.
Manasa.
You said there was a door, right?
There is, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna check around the door. Is there any other exit from this place?
No, it's this room and then one more door.
And it's just a wall, a blank wall, and a door.
Yeah, there's those plastic strips, and if Alkali's looking around, you don't see whatever hollow display they were supposed to have it on. But it looks like there would have been some old one decoration or something that is just not working right now.
Cat calendar.
Yeah, very likely.
Okay.
We'll get to the door in a second. Manasa, so you walk up to one of these machines, and it's laying this, like, not liquid, like a material of some kind that's lightly pinkish. Back and forth. Back and forth.
Like, are we
And
talking
then
pink,
going
like
back up.
Pepto-Bismol pink?
No, like really mild, like ground pork almost in color, that kind of pink.
Okay. May I use my identifying lines, lies, danger, importance? Because it says that I'm trained in all tasks involving identifying or assessing danger, lies, quality, importance, function, or power.
I think
So could I
one of
identify
those things
the
could
function?
apply.
Okay.
You're trying to figure out the function. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Difficulty 2.
I'll use both my effort. I'm just kidding.
It's gonna be like, you do what you want, but you're specialized, so that would have been super fun.
Yeah, I would have just wasted my... I'm just waiting for Wax to give me the look, like, what?
I think he was like, at this point, he was just resigned for you to do whatever
I
you
just
want.
expect you to be completely empty on points by the second hour.
Yeah, it very much looks like the meat Duerkrick was talking about. He said there is a machine that gave them meat, and this lines up with what he said.
Now, you said it's spraying? Like...
It's like oozing a liquid, like
Oh,
a
it's oozing a liquid.
semi-solid.
What is it oozing into?
It's oozing out like onto like this machine's like a plate of some kind, not like a dinner plate, but like a plate of metal or glass.
Does it does it move? Like, the or it's
arm is
just, like-
moving. That's oozing the
so
liquid.
the arm is moving. Okay. I'm going to reach out, and I'm going to reach out and like scoop it up with my finger.
Okay, you do so. It seems to be almost solidifying. Like you get some of the top layer off.
Okay. What does it smell like?
Why? Why do you need to know that?
It smells like raw meat.
Just raw, like uncooked, like.
Yeah.
Zyde's just in the back, like,
Hey, MK,
Yes?
come here.
I'm coming! I'm here.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
What does it smell like to you? And I hold my finger out to her.
Wait, where was that?
just smell it. All right.
Well, okay. So, before I do, was it in one of alkali's,
What?
And we're gonna take a break there.
I had to ask.
No, you really didn't.
I'm
And-
sorry!
That was
See
a
you 3
life.
to 5, everybody.
That was a choice that you made.
Look at the Patreon. Follow these people if you feel like it. Thank you for watching. We're taking our break. 3 to 5. See you real soon. Hello and welcome back to Forbidden Lands. We've composed ourselves. All is well in the world. We've temporarily shoved the lewd emotions down into a corner that will eventually burst forth at the end of the stream, if not in an hour or 15 minutes. We are back with our party in a room making meat. A sample of this meat was offered to MK.
Okay, I'll trust you.
Smells like raw meat. Very light though, but meat nonetheless.
It smells like meat. Yeah, that's meat.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's from this. And I turn around and I show her the machine and how it's literally just like dispensing it on the plate.
Ugh. Why did you show me this? I don't want to know what's in my food. I just want to eat it.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. Is it's just meat, but
Is it? But is it really? How is it being dispensed like that?
I'm not. I'm normally not okay with you putting foreign things in your mouth, but at the same time, I am kind of curious if you'd be willing to try some, but only a little bit.
For the sake of the group, I will make this huge sacrifice. It's a huge sacrifice for me to put this foreign meat in my mouth.
I just only a little bit, okay? Just a little bit.
Just a tip.
We don't need you. We don't need you falling over.
No. Where's the meat? Can I have it?
It's right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How much should I, how much?
just like a pinky.
Who's Pinky?
Use your pinky.
Okay, fine! Okay, and I'm gonna go and I'm going to take a piece of meat and I'm going to eat it. Does it taste like normal meat to me?
It tastes like raw meat.
Well,
You know, I've had better rare steak than this. But, I mean, it tastes okay, I guess.
so it is meat, or tastes like it at least.
Yeah, tastes like it at least.
Is the room we're in? Is it like a colder temperature, like a fridge, or is it normal?
No,
temp?
it's pretty normal temperature. Now, after a moment or so, once it gets a certain like depth for this like printed meat, the machine shudders for a second, and then what looks like a very thin plastic goes over the plate. Like a little arm goes up, wraps in plastic, wraps it, and then the whole plate goes down and depresses, and then comes back up without the meat, and it begins again.
Can I? Now I'm assuming it's like a conveyor belt we're looking at, right?
It's
Something?
not
Or
actually.
No. Oh, it's not. It just sits there.
It went down
Oh, it went down.
after being
Okay.
coated in plastic, and then went back up without.
Is there any like crevice or hole that I can kind of like try to attempt to peek in to see where it's going?
When it depresses down, it looks like it goes down, a little slot opens, the meat is then pushed into said slot, and then plate goes back up.
I want to try to snatch one.
One of the wrapped plastic ones.
Yes.
Okay. I will need a difficulty 3 speed test from you.
Okay.
Would you like your GM intrusion, or are you going to pay?
Yeah, give it to me straight.
Okay. Well, give your experience,
Okay.
and then take your experience.
I'm going to give one to MK
Okay.
For
for
me?
being my taste tester.
All right, Mark, experience. Yeah, so you reach for this meat, and you hear like a buzzing sound, like a sharp, like, "Arr," as you reach for it. And I'm going to need you to make a speed defense check for me, difficulty 4.
Let me see here. Ooh, I'm trained in speed defense. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you pull your hand back quickly as what looked like a protective case went up and snapped over the entire enclosure. And barely, you probably would have lost a finger if that had hit.
Well, looks like we won't be able to snatch ourselves a sample of whatever this is. Where are the others?
They're all around you.
I'm gonna motion them over to
I've
the.
been behind you two the whole time. Just
Oh
like,
wait, really? Okay.
Nikel's the main one in the. He's by the door, and then MK
Are we
was in
going
the
to
middle of the
open this
room.
door?
Yes, but we've found something very interesting that you might want to see.
Isn't it just another one of these strange seed things?
No, this is producing what apparently tastes like meat.
You can't produce meat.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm walking over.
I would be over there now too at this point.
And you'd see a glass case over the whole thing as this arm is spewing a kind of pinkish liquid that's solidifying and turning into like a block of meat.
That's not meat.
It smells like it, and it tastes
does.
like it from what
You
MK
ate it?
has. No, I didn't eat it. Of course
You're
not.
I'm looking at
Excuse me,
MK.
what does that mean?
I'm
Of
looking
course
at
not.
I'm looking at
Anxiety is
MK
just pointing at
immediately.
MK
I'm
like
not
this.
I'm not looking at Manasa when I say that. I immediately understood and looked at MK.
To
You
be
got
fair,
something to say to me?
to be fair, I'm the one who asked her to try it.
how are you?
You
How are
asked
you
her to do
feeling
that?
with
Yes, I
that?
asked her to do it. It's better that I asked her to do it instead of her doing it on her own, correct?
So,
At least she has some supervision.
Suppose that's true. But
Supervision? What am I, a child?
Wait. How are you feeling with that meat inside of you? From that.
Very full. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
Okay, I'm back.
The old ones were focused on productivity and mass production of all sorts of stuff. This makes sense that they would want to seek a way in order to produce their own.
yeah.
Sustenance?
I almost don't want to call it meat, but I guess this makes sense, honestly.
So,
It doesn't
There was-
make any sense because if it's any kind of, it would go bad. I would think this place is it even? This is not where you normally would just keep meat all the time. Not this much.
But what
who are
if
we to question the old ones? They made incredible constructs, both foreign and complicated to our knowledge.
This is
Honestly,
true.
I have seen some things as a trader, and it is extremely odd and curious, almost unheard of.
but useful?
Agreed.
Is it? Why everything has a source?
Well, think
Well-
about
Maybe we
if-
should try to find the source.
Alkali. Do you see something we do not see?
I mean, I'm just thinking about how it would make sense for this to be something that the old ones would want to make. Imagine having your people able to have some form of sustenance that however they produce it, you can just make all the time. You don't need to hurt or hunt animals. You can just make it. I mean, assuming this isn't actually animals. I've never seen an animal look like this.
Well,
What?
if you think about it, if you gut a deer, Does it still, you take its meat, does the meat look
Doesn't
exactly
look
like a
like
deer?
that.
That's what I mean. So either there's some production of these animals, or they found a way to make food without using actual animals.
I'm all for exploring this place, especially the door that Nikel found, but at the same time I do want to find this source. Whoever
Agreed.
they're getting this.
We
And
have
what I don't understand more so is that if this is supposed to be broken, why is it here? Why is
does
this working?
seem that everything is working.
Where is this
But aren't
collapse?
there the other machines above us as well, Dan? They're not dripping any liquid, right? And they look the same? But those ones up there, they're not doing the same thing. I think that's what they mean by it's broken. Maybe
then
this
let's
one
keep
works.
moving.
Agreed.
Yeah. agreed.
Nikel, where's that door? And I'll follow wherever he goes.
Can you do the thing again? Alkali?
Of course. I would walk up to the door and see if there's any sort of a panel or anything.
And
Yep,
if you
shows up
want
on
me
your focus.
to test the meat again at any point, just let me know.
Have your fill, sure. We're going to check and see where it's coming from.
And before I open it, am I able to see anything with my focus kind of through the door or nah?
This one, no.
Interesting, okay. So I'd go ahead and I'd try to open the door.
Yes, and there's a nice kind of almost soft chime as that door opens. And you step through, or do you let others walk through first?
I would step through first.
Okay, you do. And you walk into what kind of feels like a living room. It's pleasant. The light isn't as bright. It's a little more mellow. You see a number of chairs that look fairly comfortable. It looks like a table off to the side. It's kind of a pleasantly warm thing. And there's what look like 4 chairs up against the wall, round chairs that kind of sit in almost like half an egg. And there's what looks almost like a podium in the middle of the room. It's maybe a 30-foot room depth-wise. But it looks like it'd be a spot that you'd welcome guests. Why don't you give me everyone can do this one. An int check specifically looking around for anything out of the ordinary.
Would I be able to use
5.
perception for that?
Yep, you can totally use that.
Would my identifying lies, danger, and importance count or no?
Not for this one, I don't think.
Okay. You said what was the difficulty?
5.
I'd like to use an effort.
Okay. Minor effect, okay. There's almost
Still
a
no
crit for
20.
you.
What did I roll
Still
on
no
one
20.
thing? I
So
just rolled
close.
intellect.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were all doing this for perception.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Unless you don't want to. If you're looking at someone else, somewhere else in character, that's okay.
I'm definitely concerned about anything attacking us, so I'm
For sure.
my head's on a swivel.
I figured.
19.
Also 19. All right, 2 19s with this. So, you see as you step through this door, what look like lines every 3 feet or so. It almost reminds you of like you've seen that before in Meridian. Like if there's a really long queue for some goods, sometimes the popular shops will actually physically put down lines to let people know where to wait so it doesn't get too crowded. And those lines lead up to that podium. You would also, both of you, with the minor effect, you note off to kind of the upper right corner, up against the wall, there's maybe a 3-foot panel in the wall. Looks like it could be moved. Maybe it's a a small tunnel or something like that. You can see like a light grating.
And there's no other door in this room, it's just this one?
No other door.
Interesting.
You did note that panel. Your minor effect was very useful here.
Is that passing like the podium? Like you would have to walk past the podium in order to get back there?
Correct. You'd have to walk past the podium, past those 4 like half egg chairs against the wall, and it's kind of up and behind those.
Okay. I'd like to make my way over to the podium just to take a look and see if there's anything on it in particular.
Okay. Alkali walks ahead toward the podium. Are the rest of you following or holding suspicion? What are you doing?
Yeah,
I would be following.
I think that I'm still just trying to keep an eye out. I don't necessarily think I'm interested in investigating this.
Same. I'm kind of like getting a look of the layout of the place and.
Sure. As you approach the podium, a small hologram pops up over it of a person. Looks like a woman in very strange clothing, some sort of robe, I guess. But like it's an open robe, and then there's shirt and pants underneath that. Kind of a bluish hollow, and it looks at you. Maybe the hologram's a foot tall.
Welcome, new and fallen tears. My name is Artemis. Please proceed to the dotted line for your Ferrotech PDA update.
What was that?
What is this?
I'm like frantically looking
Yeah, I
around
have
with
my
the book.
sword out. I'm like about to charge up to the podium.
Would they have actually heard that, or is that like a specific focus thing? Okay, so they would have.
It went over like some sort of
Over
communication
comm
device
system.
in this room. Yeah.
Okay. It was one of the images of an old one.
Image?
Yeah, I could see it, but I guess you all heard it as well.
Did they look threatening?
No,
Commanded us to do something.
yeah,
I'm not doing anything they say.
well, I don't even think we have one of whatever it was they were talking about.
What
What
was
were
it
they
that they
talking
wanted?
about?
They said, a PDA? Dan,
PDA?
in
Yeah.
my experience, would I know what a PDA is?
Yeah.
Especially since I interacted with one, I believe, in the cave?
You did, but whether or not you know that's what it's called, why don't you give me a roll?
Okay.
Intellect difficulty 4.
And I rolled too since I had
Would-
one.
What was yours? I'll go to Alkali and then, well,
Yep.
sorry,
Okay.
what was your question?
Would
Oh,
I
I'm sorry.
would I be able to use my artifact knowledge on that?
Yes, you would.
Okay.
And
And you said 4, right?
yes, and you can totally attempt it, Zaidi. Difficulty 4 intellect. Did you have a skill or that you were trying to use, or just a raw roll?
Just raw because I have one or had one, I should say.
If you've delved into cauldrons before, there's a chance you've run into them. Unfortunately, Alkali does not make the connection that that PDA is what you've seen before.
I'm not gonna put any effort or anything just because it's more of a tinkering with.
Yeah. 19. You, however, do
I
make that
tinker.
connection. PDA, you don't know what it stands for, but you've seen references to a PDA. Like, you may have even seen like a tablet and it said like maybe PDA on it or something, or maybe you heard a traveler at one time before you started going west mention it if they were a delver. But you do have that connection. Your minor effect is you know. Yeah, PDA is one of those devices.
Wait. Alkali, did it say? What did it say again?
It said to line up, I think, or something like that with Your PDA? I think they said Artemis issued? I have no
PDA.
idea.
PDA. I have come across some. I remember seeing it. It's a device of some sort. Maybe not very different from what we have seen before.
Before, what do you mean?
Like pat down. I do have my bag. I think this. Wait a second. I fumble through my bag and pull out the one that I used to have. I had in that cave or had with me the whole time.
Yep.
Look at this.
Oh, I have one of those too from those people that we. And I'll pull mine out as well.
So I'll flip it around in the back.
Is there any indication that it would be an Artemis issued one though, since there would obviously be different brands?
Why don't you go ahead and give me an intellect check? This isn't for artifact knowledge,
Right.
but it will be a difficulty 3. And I'll tell you why after you roll. Dang, that's
19?
that's the fourth 19 today.
I'm going to play the lottery tonight.
I know, right? Same though.
Damn.
19 is just the first loser on a 20, though.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Damn.
I still haven't gotten one, so you know what? We're gonna more.
This.
Bro, did you just see all the color leave her face? God.
That was brutal.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think I just saw Whack vent.
You're voting him out. Ejected.
Yeah, I would after that. No.
Broke my heart. Oh my God.
So you're sitting there and you're going, is this an Artemis issued PDA? And then you go, wait, no, that's not what was said. It was a Pharaotech PDA.
Oh.
Artemis was the hologram's name from what it said. So that you just rolled for your own memory, essentially, and correct yourself and realize I'm looking for Pharaotech, not Artemis.
Right. Well,
So
would there be any indication then?
Right. So damn, like
that.
most things have stuff on them, right? So
Yes, and it does say Pharaotech on it.
both?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Look at this.
Yeah, I was
me
just
see
thinking the
yours.
same thing.
Oh, okay, this is not a... The old ones may have wanted us to be here.
A match.
Should we do what it says?
I mean, we should try just to
Turn it
see
on,
what
turn
these
it
things
on.
do.
Turn it on. Second my turn.
Yeah, try and turn on my PDA.
Yeah, it's on.
What did you? Mhm, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
just right there, that button. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's cool, isn't it?
I feel like I can see. Okay, I am ready. Show me.
I don't know what we're supposed to be doing with it.
Let's line up. Find out where we're supposed to be.
Okay. Well, I think the lines were there, and I point towards the separating lines that we saw at the beginning.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I am upgrading.
Upgrading.
What?
Yes, with the old ones. Look at this, and look at this. Come, show. We are destined to be here. This is the sign I was looking for. Oh my god, the gods have stopped talking sending me signs for the longest, and we are here.
Zairi, did you eat the meat as well? What is happening?
No, but something even more enlightened.
Did you listen to what?
Zairi, if you're supposed to be upgraded, why would it be in a facility that has liquid meat in it?
Because we are not
And
machines.
seeds.
It makes so much sense. We are not machines. We are meat. Yes?
Excuse me, what now?
Okay. All right, maybe that came out wrong. We are made of flesh and bones.
Are you suggesting that these people are eating each other?
Maybe. But I am not trying to be eaten. But maybe we can be enlightened
Look
on
at
what's
MK.
going on.
You ate that meat.
I don't think it's human. At least I hope not. Let's just...
Did
Wait.
Manasa trick me into eating human meat?
No, we don't know that yet.
You are misunderstanding.
Yet!
W-
So
no, no,
there's
no.
a chance!
No, please. Please, you are misunderstanding. Alkali, please, let's upgrade.
Yes.
Upgrade what?
No.
Just watch.
I don't want
Just
to
no.
eat any people.
Okay, just
No,
let us
we're
try.
not doing. Zaire, we're not doing this. We're not. No.
But
All right. My theory that I stated that I was going to tell you all now, I'm just going to tell you. That giant orb center that I had Alkali look at, she said it was giving off a melody.
so,
Dordric said that the red blood within them sings. And then the blacksmith said that he joined them.
that's the upgrade?
It's almost like a cult.
I do not want to be upgraded anymore.
Right, but I don't know if that has anything to do with this thing.
Do you remember the war?
Yes.
Do you remember what she found? That there was a machine controlling multiple machines, infecting them. Not only that, but it was turning people against other people.
What?
This feels almost similar. Cultic.
As this conversation is happening, I think that I'm going to run to a corner and I'm going to force myself to vomit.
Okay.
Because I am very concerned that I actually consumed human meat.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say what you're saying is true, but before we met, I have found this device. So as Alkali, we have no idea we were going to meet each other, and it led us here, Manasa.
How are we going to find out? What happened here? If we don't put ourselves in the shoes of the people that were dealing with this. If we don't try to figure it out.
There's another door, right?
No.
No?
There was that like grated panel back in the corner of this room,
Right.
behind those 4 chairs, but no door.
Is there any way to replay the message?
I can check. And I'd like to try and see if I can emulate what I did before.
Okay. So you step back up to the podium. The hologram kind of flickers for a second and resets back to like the very first moment you saw it. And
Welcome, newest volunteers. My name is Artemis. Please proceed to the dotted line for your Ferrotech PDA upgrade. Welcome, Christopher T. Byrne.
So, we are upgrading our PDA. Not us. Okay. Manasa, I think we are on to something.
you hear MK retching in the corner.
MK, are you all right?
I'm good. I'm good. Okay. I'm good.
I don't know if she ate another mushroom.
I did not eat anything else other than this cursed meat. I'm hungry, but don't let me eat any more of this. Not until we find out if it's actually people.
Okay, all right, I don't know. I saw something in the corner over there, at least. Maybe, if we don't want to check this out, maybe we should just go and see if there's anything we can do with it. It's like a panel type thing.
I'm going to run up to the line where she said stop here to upgrade your PDA. He's just too excited. He hasn't had any visions or anything, so he just runs up for a while and he's just so excited.
Sure. Step up to the line.
Your cooperation allows for this experiment to run for the betterment of humanity and its repopulation. Fear not. Operation Enduring Victory has succeeded.
Do you notice anything different?
Well?
No, about the PDA.
Oh.
Please,
Yes.
take a seat.
I'm going to take a seat.
Don't.
But we are so close.
Don't.
Okay. He just kind of like backs up a little bit and just like kind of puts his head down.
But that message changed when you actually did what she said.
Yes.
But it said the word experiment. Is anyone going to point that out?
The old ones ran experiments for literally everything.
Okay.
And what do they entail?
I mean,
What kind of experiments?
That's what I want to find
that's
out.
what we're trying to find out, yeah.
So we're going to put Zaire in a seat of unknown origin in possibly a cauldron, and we're going to have a machine tell us what to do.
Aren't you even the littlest bit curious about what happened
I'm
here?
curious, but I'm also not going to be stupid about this.
Dan, has anything happened to the PDA?
Not that you can tell.
What if it hurts him? What if he becomes what we found back there?
He just starts looking at the ceiling. Nicole, have you seen anything of any sort of... I don't know, suck me up or something?
I have not. It seems that there aren't any animal-like machines here. The whole place seems to be beyond me, though.
Do you want me to just try, Sadie?
I'm not going to allow you to
No,
sit
no.
in that chair.
You are not my parent.
I'm going to take my tear blaster and I'm going to aim it at her.
Wait.
Whoa.
You guys have been together for so long. I am...
We have, and I'm not about to lose her.
Yes, and I agree.
You'll
I am
lose
a
me if you
complete-
do what you're trying to do.
Then don't sit in that seat.
I am a complete stranger to you. Yes?
Zaire,
want-
you're not risking your life either. This is not worth it. We're supposed to be fixing this machine, not sitting in a chair because a machine tells us to.
The only way we'll find out what this facility is actually truly about is if we go through with investigating it.
Nikhil?
I don't know anything about this place. I haven't seen any machines beyond these food makers. I think we should look around first before we do anything else.
Can I at least inspect the chair? Maybe if you're convinced that is not a meat maker, that will be okay?
I say we put something in the chair that is not any of us and see what happens.
Like what, your cannon?
I like to not risk my cannon if possible, but I'm sure there's something heavy in here that we can use.
I still have
Okay,
some
that's
boar
actually
leather.
a good idea.
You still have what?
Yeah.
I still have some boar leather.
Can we pack it with meat and put it on?
I still have a roll of leather myself, along with some of that foamy texture that I got off of the machine that took us here.
And we could possibly put the PDA on the table in front of it.
Okay. Good thinking.
I take
Now,
out.
can you get that out of my face?
I go ahead and I put my Terror Blaster away.
I'm going to take out one boar leather and I guess just try and help them construct a crash test dummy.
Okay. Sure.
I will remove my seed-sized slab of memory foam from my pack.
All right. So, how are you doing this exactly?
I kind of want to take the leather and the memory foam and see about shaping it into like something that resembles like a butt or something. Like I don't know, like
Do you carve
Like
it
to, like-
nicely?
to literally like to to mimic someone like sitting in it. I don't know how I was gonna say that. Okay, but like.
Isn't
All
that
right.
a real word
So
for that? But anyway.
you see Manasa start kind of attempting to make a butt.
I says, check notes, but.
Notes, I successfully created a butt.
Is she gonna roll on his butt? I just want to know.
Oh my gosh.
How well do you
I
craft
mean, I want
the
to.
ass?
I do actually have to know how effective whatever you're doing is. So
Ass
please
craft.
go ahead and,
I'm-
I guess, give me an intellect check for making a butt.
May I assist her?
Honestly, think you should.
Yeah,
In
you can
crafting
assist
that ass?
her.
I mean, two effort.
And
I
then
think
we'll
two
have the
effort is a good-
documentary, Manasa and Alkali, the making of a butt.
Yeah.
Title of the
Difficulty
podcast.
4 for crafting that ass.
Yeah. Make sure it's thick because it needs to fit in that chair. please.
Difficulty what again?
4.
69.
Do I get
This-
a bonus because I'm
From
getting
me?
assisted?
You'll get an asset from her. Yes.
I'm
Asset.
going. Can I?
All
Can
right.
I hold?
And you
Can I
said
hold
just-
the material for them so they can craft it easier?
Difficulty what again?
It's yeah. Between the two of you, you'll add the asset.
Yeah. Okay.
Asset.
The asset.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so what is the difficulty again?
4.
Okay, 4, got it.
You want to add 2 effort on that, but
I want to add 2 effort?
oh, I was just asking.
No, I'm not going to add 2 effort to the butt. All right, and 1 asset. God.
Successful ass has been made.
Nice.
Look, I
very
didn't know how to
realistic.
word it.
Yeah. So you make essentially a reverse booster seat. Out of leather and memory foam,
I need air.
and put it onto the seat. Anything else you're doing?
Yeah, I'm placing them. I'm placing the PD
Where are you placing it?
on the table
Okay. All right.
in front of it. I am Manasa.
Yes.
No matter what happens, I will say you are the most amazing crafting,
Crafter.
selling. You're just an all-around woman.
I
And
helped.
and I respect that. Both of you, because that right there could have been me. Thank you. He puts it down. I will
Well, I mean,
watch.
I had the idea, Zairi. So you're
Why,
welcome.
yes. Thank you. Are you? Thank you.
He seems
may
to
have
have
saved
mentioned
my
only
life.
Manasa.
Or that will be upgraded.
All right, let's see if this works.
Okay. So you set the seat down and put the PDA on the table in front of it. Each one of these seats has its own little table. And nothing happens.
Is it not fat enough or heavy enough to fit in the whole seat? Why isn't it working?
Maybe these machines are too smart.
Or we have to
Maybe-
trigger something. Alkali, do you
Oh,
see anything?
If I go up to the podium again, do I see anything?
Why don't you give me an intellect-based check? Difficulty 5.
Would I be able to apply perception or artifact knowledge to this?
Artifact knowledge you could.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So you do see something a little extra in there. There's actually a stack of PDAs in a compartment on that podium.
Oh. I don't think that we needed to do any of that, actually.
Hmm?
It seems perhaps I misinterpreted. There's a bunch of these PDAs here. They were giving them out, I suppose.
we should get one of each of us. Yes?
I'll take 3.
Oh, so now you're okay with it.
Of the PDAs, but not sitting in the chair.
So,
Okay.
we all get the PDAs, line up, and see what happens.
Do
Yeah.
we all have
No.
PDA?
I
We
think
should
they
all
were
get
just
one.
I think they were just handing them out. These are the upgraded versions, perhaps.
Oh,
There was
Or
nothing.
they could have been the disposed ones from the previous owners.
There
That
were
is also
no
a very
other.
good point.
There were no other doors, right, on our way here.
No. Your head's been on a swivel the whole time, right, Nikel? I think
Mhm.
you said that. Can you give me a perception check?
What was that
difficulty
one
5?
that I rolled the 19 for earlier?
That was for when you were looking around in general in the room. You saw the grate in the corner, like the 3-foot grate.
And I'm sorry, what is... Did we look at the grate yet?
No.
Yeah, I'm going to go over to the grate.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So it's a very fine grate in the sense of like it's not like your fan grates you see where it's got like an inch or two between. It's maybe like
Not big enough
quarter
for
of
a
an inch.
person to fit in.
You can't fit through the grate. No. Not in its current state, at least.
I guess what I'm getting at is it some kind of... Do I look... When I look at this, does it look like it can be removed? Can we travel through it? Anything
Possibly.
along those
It's
lines?
wide enough for sure.
Okay. I'm going to say, what about this?
When looking
What
at
is
it, would I have seen these in any previous ruins or facilities that I've gone in?
Yeah, sometimes you do. Airflow usually is happening through them.
I've seen those before.
you seen what?
And I point over to the grating that Nikel's near.
Oh,
Does it feel like there's any air coming through it, or...
Very light breeze coming at you now that you're next to it.
I feel the wind. Maybe
Yeah.
this is a way through.
oh. Okay.
Typically, in the cases that I've seen it's basically solely for airflow from what I could tell.
But maybe it comes out another side if there's wind coming
Yes.
through
Oh, it
there.
absolutely does.
It might be a way for us to make it through.
Yes.
I'm going to see if I can remove it somehow.
Okay. How are you trying to remove it?
If it looks like there's anything that looks like it's clipped on or anything along those lines, something that I can like unlatch and pull it off.
No obvious latches. There is a bit of an edge to it that you could potentially put your hands around, or at least fingertips, to try to pull it.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it.
Okay. Just with your hands is going to be a difficulty 4 might check.
So I'll put an effort in.
Okay.
$12.
That is a success. Yeah, it may have been maybe easier with a knife using leverage, but for you, you've got a strong grip from all the climbing you had to do as a Nora Brave, and are able to grip it tight enough and pull the grate loose.
All right. I'm going to just kind of peek inside. Is there light there? Can I see anything?
It's dark. It is very dark.
Does anyone have any light?
I do. And I would pull my headlamp out and attach it to my head. By any chance, before I do any of this, those PDAs, do they look exactly the same?
No. They all look exactly the same to each other, but they look different than the PDAs
Right.
you and Zaidi have.
Okay. So I'd probably grab one, maybe hand one to Zairi, and give 3 to Manasa like she wanted. MK, did you want one?
Sure.
And I'll give one of the PDAs to MK as well.
They're cleaner. They're a lot cleaner.
Are they emitting
Right.
light? Like if they push anything, like are they lighting up?
Depends on if people turn them on or not. They're off currently.
I didn't know if like they were activated by touch or whatever.
Gotcha. No, they weren't activated by touch. They had to push a button to turn on the other ones.
Oh,
The ones they had did emit a soft blue light, though, which you would have seen if you saw them interacting with them.
How do you turn those on? And I'm going to reach a hand out for one of them.
I'll grab one and I'll walk over to Nikel, hand him one, and show him the button to turn these on.
Turns
there.
on.
I'm going to see if I can attach it somewhere on my body, just so that the light can face out.
Yeah, you can probably, if you use some like leather straps, you might be able to like kind of wrap it around like your shoulder.
Okay.
To get it kind of there. It's going to block a little bit of the light, but not too terribly much.
How big are they? Are they phones? Or are
They're
they-
about phone sized. Yeah.
I'll strap it to my head.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
So,
with a leather
yeah.
strap right across.
bro,
Yep.
no.
Michelangelo
Nice.
style.
He said it's so
Light.
casual, though.
I strapped it on my head. Yeah, cool. Right,
Nikel, do you
Yes.
want me to go first, and I'll turn on my headlamp?
And it has
Mine's a
far
little brighter.
greater light.
I'm just doing this. Give me a sign,
I just think
please.
it will. Yes. I think it will be easy to see this way.
Okay, so I'll just go first, and I'll go ahead and I'll start climbing into the vent.
So Zaidi's gonna grab Nikel's shoulder. Now we are truly brothers.
I look at him strangely. Yes.
Go.
I walk in. I
You have to crawl.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Crawling. Yeah. I'll probably get my knife out, I think.
Okay. So you're crawling with your knife and everything else is on your back. Okay. So Alkali goes in first with Nikel following. Are the rest of you going in this vent? What are you doing? And if so,
I'm
what order?
following, but I'm staying behind.
Important question. Do I fit in the vent?
No.
It's unless you're
I'm
greater than
kidding.
3 foot wide.
Wow.
I'll play. I love you. I just want to make you smile. Manasa, come.
Should I come as well? Or should I stay back? What am I doing? What do I do?
Wait, you should head the rear.
The rear.
Yes.
Where?
You
MK, you
you-
can stay with me. You stay with me. We'll
You going
stay.
to stay?
We will be behind, but we're going to be trailing just in case something decides to greet us from behind.
Wait. You are not coming with us. We need to stay together.
I'm still going to be with you all, but we are going to be trailing behind, making sure our behinds are covered.
Alkali and Nikel have started
let's
crawling.
Let's go. Let's just go. Let's go.
If you stay behind, I will stay behind with you.
All right, well, that wasn't the point.
Now
I'll
everyone's
go.
gonna
I'll
stay
go.
behind.
I'll go. I'll go. I'll
Thank
go.
you.
I'll go.
So you kind of pushes her.
Manasa crawls into the vent, jingling as she army crawls her way through.
I will be
MK
right behind
follows.
you. Come. Wait,
And
MK. Are you taking your cannon in here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll be in the rear.
You want me to leave my cannon behind?
No, I will be behind you
I
to help
don't
you.
think so.
That's what I'm saying.
And MK tosses the cannon in first and then crawls in after, pushing it ahead of her. And Anxiety's the last one in the room. What are you doing?
Who, MK or me?
You're the
Oh.
last one in the room.
I have my sword on my back, so I'm just coming out and I'm just kind of slowly peeking out. And then I'm just gonna kind of crawl out really slowly.
Okay, so you're going in backwards? Is that what you're doing? It's a vent,
No.
so like it's a vent tunnel.
No, I would be going in forward, but I'm
Okay, you're
behind
going in.
everybody,
All right.
because I'm helping
Okay.
her with the cannon. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so the 5 of you begin crawling in this very small metallic tunnel with an echo every crawl and thud. And after maybe a couple of turns into this facility, Alkali, you bump into, or at least maybe not bump into, but you come up to another grate. With some light spilling in.
Looks like you were right, Nikel.
What do you
I'm
see?
gonna go ahead. I see another one of those things that we came in with.
Do you need my help? Can you remove it?
I think I can do it. And I'll go ahead and try and force it open.
Okay. Give me a might check, difficulty 3.
Okay. $15.
That is a success. You pop it out, and they're able to kind of grab it real quick before it like just falls and clangs to the ground.
Yeah, I would be trying to like lower it as quietly as humanly possible.
Yep, and you do just fine. You rolled well enough.
Okay. Do I see anything if I poke my head out?
Yeah, it's maybe a small room. You see some old one's machinery kind of up against and into the walls. There's a door in there as well. The light's a little dim compared to the other places, and you see a number of boxes and crates in a corner.
Okay. I'm gonna try and climb out quietly.
Okay, if you want to be stealthy, you can roll for that. Otherwise, we'll just be quiet.
Yeah, I'll just be quiet. It's fine.
Okay, yep. You do so. Like if someone was listening for you, maybe they heard you, but
Right.
you were quiet. And you're in this room.
With my focus on, does it seem like there's any machinery that's active right now that I'd be able to see?
Yes, it looks like all of it is active. What it's doing, it looks like it's got a bunch of dials and like sensor readouts. There's a word you've seen and heard in other Old One ruins.
Okay, it's just some more machines. You guys can come out, it seems safe.
Good, because it's a little cramped in here and I don't like it.
I'm going to make my way out.
Okay.
I will follow.
And all of you pile into this small room. It's maybe a little cramped for all 5 of you to be in here.
You gonna look for a way out of this room?
Yep, there is a door with a handle. It's not your standard sliding doors from before.
I listen at the door.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an intellect-based listening check. Difficulty 2.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you hear kind of that, not the same buzzing, but you do hear what sounds like machinery running.
I hear more of the same machinery. I'm gonna open the door up.
Okay. And it kind of creaks a bit, opening up into a bigger room this time. And you're faced with a small hallway, maybe just 15 feet ahead of you, and then it also goes off to the right into a T.
There's another
The humming of machinery from this facility echoes in this room.
There's
or this
another
hallway.
long room here. I see another door.
All right.
Gonna walk in, check, and make sure that it's safe.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything in here. You look down the T, there's another doorway that way.
I walk towards it.
Okay, so you're not going the one that you would have immediately seen. You hang a right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that one. Then yes,
Yeah,
I would have
there's
checked
a
the
T.
I would have checked the one immediately.
Ahead. Okay. Yep. It is a door, though this one is another sliding.
You mean there's no handle?
Correct.
Another door without a handle.
I see. Let me go take a look. And I'd walk over towards it.
Okay. Yep. It is your standard hollow
All right,
handle.
I'll go ahead and work on opening it.
Okay. And it slides open. And you would get the distinct smell of smoke, though light, when the door opens.
Do you smell that?
It's dark in there.
You have my head PDA.
It's true. The head PDA gives maybe 5 feet of light. It's pretty ambient. The headlamp gives more. And so if you're looking in, you would see a pretty large room with a number of sparking wires in the distance, machinery that looks broken or maybe crushed. And you'd have to step in further to see more into the room.
Can you see anything?
I just see a little bit of like rubble, I think. That's it. I'm gonna move further in. Are you okay with me doing that?
I have you covered.
All right. And I'd walk as quietly as humanly possible further into the room.
Okay. Give me a stealth check. Difficulty 3.
Okay, is that going to be
That'd be
speed?
speed based. Yeah.
Okay. 13.
Okay. It's a success. As you quietly step into this room looking around, and you don't see those same kind of meat printers, but you do see some sort of machinery off on the side, tubes flowing through it. But again, it's smoking and kind of sparking a little bit. And then as you move farther in, you were observant enough before. You note there's a crack running through the ground here. And by crack, more of a crevasse. Like, it is maybe about 10 feet wide or deep, and then it goes down farther than you can see. You also see a door on the other side.
On the other side of the crevice?
Mm-hmm.
Mikhail, come take a look at this.
Walk over.
Do you see this?
I bend down and I sort of try to take a look. How wide is this, would you say?
About 10 feet.
Okay. So, across or like
Across.
What's the?
It crosses the entire. It goes across the entire room, which is maybe about 30 feet, and then 10 feet deep. And then you can't see the bottom.
I don't know what the average jumper that's skilled can jump. Does it look like I could jump this?
There is a possibility, yes. For your information, the world record long jump is 12 feet.
Yikes.
It would be tight. It would be difficult. But that's also feet to feet, not jumping and grabbing.
But then
So-
again, that's Nikel we're talking about, so.
It's it's possible, but it is difficult.
I'm gonna take out some rope.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say, well, we have this door and we have the one at the end of the hall. I might be able to jump across. I don't think I'm climbing down into that.
Maybe we should investigate the other one first. This is really dangerous.
Right. Let's check
Because
the other
just
door
because
first.
you can make it, doesn't mean everyone else can.
All right.
So,
Let's go check the other door.
and before we leave, Dan, is there anything inside of that room that looked like I could possibly use it as some sort of like a, not necessarily like a bridge, but like maybe something to try and put over it so that it would be more stable for folks to walk?
Why don't you go ahead and give me like a searching check as you look around the room. Intellect difficulty 3.
Okay. Would that be perception based?
You could argue that for sure.
Hey, okay. And you said 3, right?
Yes. Okay. You got the exact roll you needed, which was a 6. Yeah, you see, so you do see metal pieces here and there scrapped from whatever this collapse or rupture was caused by, and you might be able to lash a number of them together to get it. It would be more like you're walking along a pole rather than a bridge, but you could probably do something like that.
Right.
You need a
Mikhail,
lot of balance.
If we do come back in here, we could possibly fashion something to get across that. And I would point at like all of the materials that I did see. So let's just keep that in mind in case we need to, okay?
All right. Let's check the other door first.
All right.
Yeah, I've taken out the rope from my pack and I just put it someplace that's more accessible. Maybe I've kind of like tried to find a way to I might have just thrown it over my shoulder, maybe. I don't know. I would have found a way to like sort of keep it out just in case.
Sure. Okay.
I didn't like the fact that there was a random hole in the ground here.
Fair. Okay. So you're heading back into that T hallway?
Yep.
All right. The rest of you going as well, just making sure. Okay. So the five of you walk to that hallway and that door, also handleless.
I'm just there kind of holding on my PDA, trying to get some kind of reaction.
Am I able to see anything through it with my focus or no?
No, not in this room.
All right. I'll go ahead and
You
open
can
it.
see through the door, by the way. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Just there's nothing interactable on the other side.
Okay.
Let's see.
Right.
You're not being blocked actively is maybe a better word.
Right. I'll go ahead and I'll try and see if I can open it same fashion.
You can. It opens. Another dimly lit room. Maybe only 10, 15 feet of light easily seen. With your headlamp, you can see maybe 20 feet. But a very large room with a number of machines. This is probably the room that you keep hearing through the hallway and the rest of the facility. A hum of whatever is running here. No collapse in this room, but the walls are lined with a large machine. And you think you see at the very end a much larger one with what looks like an old one's panel. Though it's not lit up, you're not in range. Other than that, it's a room with just a ton of machines lining the wall. Pretty empty middle space.
There are so many.
The chugging of some sort of piston, pumping something.
What do all of them do?
Could be like the first ones we saw in the first room.
Do they look similar, Dan?
No.
I don't think so.
What are they doing?
Can you use your thingy, your focus thing to see? what
I
they're
have it
doing?
on. But I would have to get closer to some stuff to see if I could tell anything more about it. I saw one of those terminal things that I've been able to interact with before up there. I could go check that out.
All right, I'll follow you.
Okay. And I'll start heading over that way.
Okay. The rest of you following or looking around, or where are all
I'm
of you?
gonna see if I can get a closer look at one of these machines.
Okay.
Yeah,
Manasa walks off to one of the machines.
I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm just kind of surveying the area from what I can see.
Okay. MK, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go too close. I'm gonna stay close-ish to all of them, though.
Okay, like all of who? Because Nikel and Alkali
guess
are going to the
closest-
other end.
Okay, so closest to Manasa and Zairi.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, great. So, Nikel, Alkali, walking to that large machine that looks like it has an interface of some kind. You're moving out of the light range and sight range of everyone else, so you could probably hear each other just fine. But sight-wise, you're not going to be seen very easily. But you make it to this machine just fine. You too. What are you doing once you approach?
I'm just trying to see if there's anything that's going to jump out and kill us.
Okay. Why
Yeah.
don't you give me a perception check, Nikel?
And I'd be like moving my light around as well to kind of grant a little bit more vision.
Okay. It's going to be a difficulty 6, but you'll get an asset from the light moving around.
Gonna put an effort into.
Okay.
And
It's a
unfortunately,
failure. Unfortunately, it is. You don't notice anything that is going to jump out at you. Whether or not it's there, you don't notice it.
it's very dark. Something wanted to surprise us. It wouldn't be difficult.
No, it wouldn't. All right, just I'm gonna take a look at this. Just keep your eyes out, okay? In fact, do you want to try this? And I would point towards my headlamp.
And I say, I have my own.
Right. Right. Okay. I would take a look at the panel and see if there's anything I can interact with.
Okay. Yeah. When you approach it with your focus, it actually lights up. And just... what are you trying to do is maybe before I say anything else.
Well...
Like, how
I'm
are you
kind of-
interacting with it is maybe a better question.
I'm kind of trying to figure out if this panel is meant for either just like to present something or if it's more of like one of the console like input things that we've
It
experienced
looks like
in
you
the
can
past.
interact with it. From what
Okay.
you've experienced before, yes.
All right, so then I would try and interact with it in some way.
Okay, yeah, you kind of do your hand swipe motion again, and instead of just being lit up, it gives you a response, and the text readout of pumps and flow interrupted, needs maintenance, system flush, question mark, Y/N.
So they weren't lying, Nikel, about this being interrupted. It says that it needs maintenance. So at least that part is true.
What can we do?
Well, it's asking me if I want to start something called a system flush. I have no idea what it means, but I can do it.
Well, I know what flushing rainwater means. Maybe it's
Right.
similar.
Maybe. All right, I'll just type Y and hit whatever enter into the console.
Yep. And a hum and what sounds like almost a burst of steam or a geyser. And it softens a bit after that. And then you see system flush engaged. Successful. Main reboot required. Please contact maintenance.
Okay. Well, that worked. But we need to find wherever this maintenance is. Because now it's asking to contact maintenance. Do we see, like, any other doors in the room or anything like that?
In this room, no. This is its own standalone.
There was only one other door that we saw across the crevice.
Yes. I'm pretty good at jumping as well as you. Do we want to try and go take a look?
We can see if we can make some sort of bridge so that the others can come across.
Right. Alright, let's regroup with them.
All right.
Meanwhile, the other three looking around at some of the side machines, you hear the mild echoing of the voices of the conversation just heard by the rest of us as they are interacting with this panel. But you three are inspecting some of these machines, and yeah, there's tubing kind of moving in between them, and there's a light humming and maybe that electrical buzz as the machines are on doing whatever they're doing. What are the three of you specifically doing while observing these?
I kind of want to see what it does.
Hey, how are you doing that outside of just the general observation?
touching it.
Okay. What are you touching? How are you touching it? Like, are you trying to hit buttons or dials or tap on things?
I'm going to take my tear blaster and I'm going to kind of like poke it with it.
Oh, kind of like doing the stick poke sort of deal?
Yeah, like a stick poke with it, yeah. Not gonna shoot it. I saw that look.
You just hear like the kind of like tonk tonk, like metal on metal sound.
I'm like prodding like near the lower part of the machine and then like the top area, like side, like anything that looks like a gear maybe, like anything that looks like it connects.
I mean, if you're trying to like jam it in between parts.
No, no. I'm just trying to poke it.
Okay. I mean, you're able to, and it just every now and then it just kind of dunk dunk. Nothing more than that. Okay.
I also feel like I'm being watched intensely. I turn around. Zairi?
Yes, I was wondering if you wanted help.
Just trying to see what this machine does.
And walks up to it and he's like, keep poking. I'm going to poke at this. Maybe it interacts. So I'm just pressing buttons.
Right, maybe it does interact. That's a good idea. I'm gonna take one of the 3 PDAs I have, and I'm gonna start like hitting it against the machine.
Okay, you just donk 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 donk. It does exactly what you would think hitting a tablet that's off against a metal machine would do, which is nothing. MK, what are you doing?
Would I know anything about machines?
I have to be a little more specific than that, I suppose.
I mean, machines this size, have I ever seen anything like that? Apart from...
Unless you've said that you've gone dungeon delving, or like old ruin delving. If you haven't, you probably would not run into this sort of thing. Most of the tinkering you do is on machine parts and machine weapons.
So I would assume that if I use my ability Scramble Machine, it wouldn't work on these. It's only for...
Oh, now that I didn't say.
Oh, okay. Well,
you don't know.
Oh.
You know it affects machinery.
Okay. Well,
I just said you haven't worked with these kind of buffalo.
Right. I would I'm probably just looking around, confused, and trying to see if Manasa is figuring out anything. Kind of, sticking around.
Just looking. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give me a perception check? Intellect, difficulty 6.
Oh.
You can do effort or whatever you want, or just roll that.
Shall do one effort.
Without any effort, you would need an 18, but you got a 9. Needed a 15. Okay. Yep, you're just looking around. And this is about the time where Nikel and Alkali would be walking back with the rest of you, as you probably see Manasa bopping this machine and hearing the dong 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 dong.
Manasa, what are you doing?
I'm trying to see if it works. Trying to see what it does.
It's... Can I take a look at it really quick?
What, the tablet? Ting, ting, ting,
yes,
ting,
the
ting, with
PDA.
the machine. Ting, ting, ting.
Just let me show you something.
Before I hand it to her, I go, wait, don't you have your own?
I'm trying to show you how this works.
I mean, mine.
All right,
mine is
all right.
still
I
on,
like give
so
it. I give her the one that I'd been banging against the machine.
Oh yes,
it's a little dented in one of the corners.
This hurts my heart. So you
the
see this
same way
button
that
here?
I use machines.
Do you see
Look,
this button
I just
here?
sell them. I don't use them. Yes.
Press that, and I would hold it towards her.
I press it.
A blue light emits from it. Looks like the word login is in the middle.
And I'd pass it to her. That's as far as I can get you with that. Now, what did you find?
Ting, ting, ting,
Okay,
ting, ting.
stop. What did you find here? What is this?
it was a machine. I just wanted to see what it did or what it worked. But so far, these tablets that are supposed to be useful that the machine mentioned are pretty worthless right now.
Nikel, MK, I'm going to need you to give me speed defense checks. Difficulty 6.
Difficulty 6. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Are you kidding?
Not kidding.
I'm helping.
I'm going to take. I'm going to do 2 effort. I think.
Okay.
Shame.
Hey.
Harry, you died.
Nikel is successful. A good roll. MK was not so successful. But as the tinging and the arguing happens, Nikel, you hear a familiar and disturbing machine sound approaching and clanking as it hits the ground and leaps at you, and you move out of the way right as you see the camouflaged flicker of a stalker swiping at you.
Oh no.
MK, you
Are we
do
in the
not
dark?
get out of the way of the other stalker as it slams into you.
2?
Wait, are we in the dark, by the way?
Slams into me?
You are in low light.
My God.
It slams into you. Take 6 damage. And that is where we're going to end the episode.
What? You're gonna give me the L and then you're gonna end the episode? You're gonna give me an L? What? What? Dan, you are a sadistic man. Okay.
And just so you know, stalkers are not easy in the video game.
And we can't even see them, so it's even worse. And they're camouflaged in the dark. Yeah, disadvantage, hell.
Well,
I guess you're a little thingamajigger.
guess we'll die. Okay.
Ting, 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 ting.
I'm naming the episode "The Right Ting." By the way.
The right thing.
Yeah.
Good.
Amazing.
Shame.
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 Is this reminiscent of a first episode, perhaps?
Is it?
Yeah.
I wasn't there, sir.
Well, that is where we're going to end the episode, as mentioned. But we have to go around and do some end of session stuff for all you lovely
Dan.
people.
Finally bares his fangs.
And how
I
about
knew
we
it, man. I knew it. I knew it.
What?
Yes. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I knew it was going to be something bad. Not just from the difficulty 6, which is a big telltale sign.
Yeah.
I feel like Nikel's butthole has been puckered more so than normal for the entire journey in here.
Yep.
Oh man.
And with that puckered butthole, let's just start with you, Wack. I was gonna say start with someone else, but I'd rather not transition that to anyone but you since you said it.
Sure.
It's probably a smart
Sure.
idea what you did.
Okay. I'll do the end of session stuff first, I guess.
Sounds great.
I will give.
I guess.
I will give an XP to, I guess, Alkali. And again,
Yay.
this isn't Nikel giving the XP. This is me giving the XP.
The imposter is failing.
She did vent. Sorry.
Literally.
I don't want to meta too hard here. And just try and give myself some kind of advantage, even though we desperately need it.
I mean, what are you thinking? Because if you know what this is and you moved, and I did say you recognized it. So if you're talking about studying the machine, is that why you're thinking that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I think
not
I'm
like.
gonna.
It's an option. That's not meta if it's an option. and you know what it is, I will let you do what you think you can.
Yeah, I'll do that then. I'm gonna study this
Okay.
stalker.
Okay, so why don't you make sure you make note of that of your character sheet, so your next fight against it, you will get an asset on this next roll.
Can I ask something since we're talking about the machine? Am I like down on the ground now? Am I dying? What's happening? How bad was I?
Got swiped and thrown by it, and you took 6 damage.
Okay.
So
but,
mechanically, you're not like dying or like
You take
stunned or anything.
6 points
did
from
I
might.
ragdoll?
6 points from might is the main. You did not ragdoll unless you'd like to have.
I mean.
Oh, and don't forget your armor,
if you go
though.
limp whenever you get hit. All right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do for my end of session. I'm
right.
Mark Steven. Normally I'm the GM of Doom, but I can't. I don't know if I can claim the player of Doom. I feel like everybody else was the player of Doom today.
Yeah.
We became PDA brothers today.
Yeah. But I do a lot of shows here on Tablestory. I'm one of the GMs that does stuff here. Tomorrow I have a show that's called Witchcraft and Wizardry. That is it's a homebrew Harry Potter thing that was written by nobody. But we have a lot of fun. It's wholesome and it's silly and it's a good magical time. So hopefully we'll see you guys come on by for that tomorrow at 4 p.m. Do a lot of stuff here. Make sure you're following us here on Tablestory.
Thank you, Wack. Heck.
Oh, hi. This was me today. It was a very interesting episode today, so thanks for being here for the whole thing. I'm Technique. I do the stream. Yeah, there was a lot of that and a lot of Dan doing.
It's every
today.
week at this point. I have come to expect it. It is my Monday now.
And he still looks very well. Somehow. But yeah, so we are actually Phelan and I are doing some Baldur's Gate 3 playthroughs together with voice acting. If you're interested in it, it's every other day starting with Tuesday, and every other, so Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. It's a blast. We have so much fun. We get in character, go out of character. We're entertaining, so definitely come by and see that on each one of our channels. End of session.
Yes.
I am going to give an XP
Okay.
to Alkali. And the reason being, this is in and out of character. Out of character because if I hit the lottery, I'm going to definitely make sure she gets out of it. Because those rolls were out of this world.
Uncharacteristic.
Congratulations.
An unnatural session for her rolls.
That was actually Dan logged into my account rolling for me. He felt bad.
I mean, and it tied into her character. Her character took the lead today a lot. Was
Yeah, it
not
worked out
afraid
well.
and stood up to Manasa. When Manasa normally is, well, Zaidi takes as kind of like the almost like a leader role of the group. So he was very impressed. And I am
Main
going to take an
antagonist. I
experience-
think that's how you say.
Yeah, main antagonist. Yes. And I'm going to take an experience for myself and find out what the hell to do with all this experience that I have because I have 14 now.
Oh my God.
Jeez, oh boy, buddy.
What?
If you need to talk, we can
Yes.
talk about that.
Yeah, I
after
need
this.
help.
Okay,
I
yeah,
just
we'll help
noticed
you
it
out, man.
today, and when I
Oh
looked, I
my
was
God.
like, I have 14 experience, and
Yeah,
I
I
have
have 12, so.
Cat's just like,
All right, we'll we'll
Can I
deal with
have
this
it?
after. Yeah, we'll
no.
help you level up.
yes, yes, I appreciate it.
Things might be a little easier for you when you level up. It's like
You know, I've been doing so
maybe.
well
You
on
don't
my
always say that,
suicide
but-
runs. It was but if you want to find me, please hit me up on Twitter, and it's Technique TV. Just Technique with the Q and TV, and Technique on Twitch. Thank you so very much for being here, and Dan, thanks for being a boss.
It's like Bosch.
Boss.
Bosch.
thank you, Bloody.
Hello. I am Bloody Faster, and I play Imke for you every Monday. Well, whenever we do have sessions. And I do the streaming thing over at twitch.tv/bloodyfaster. And I play a lot of things. Lately, I've been addicted to Hades, Genshin Impact, Final Fantasy 14, all sorts of stuff. Hades is so good.
So all the
Hades is
waifus.
So good. If Hades does not win Game of the Year, I will be pissed. Okay, maybe there's other games that will come out, but it's so good and you should play it. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm talking about Hades, but yeah. End of session stuff. Could I craft some ammo, please? I'm on the ground, just got smacked, but like, could I maybe take this time that I'm on the ground?
It is an option in end of session.
Perfect.
So I will allow it. We can
Thank you.
we could potentially even say you did it before this, depending on your success.
I mean, she was standing and observing for a majority of the
she
time.
was. So that's what this is here for.
Yeah, I had some
You
downtime.
totally can. What are you crafting?
Cannon ammo.
Do you have
That's what
explosive anything?
That is a good question. I have a sparker, which is probably for the trap, right?
That is an electrical based thing.
I have a
not
blaze
explosive.
canister.
Blaze canister. You could potentially make ammunition. It's just not going to be explosive. It'll be a different element though.
What would it be?
Well, blaze would be fire. Spark
Okay.
would be electric.
Okay. Can I make one?
You could make one or the other. Yeah.
On Genshin Impact.
You could make multiples
That's
if
overload.
you have multiple of the same part.
Oh, okay. No, I only have one of each. So I'll
Yeah.
make the electrical. Let's try for the electrical this time.
Okay.
I'm feeling it.
Okay.
I'm feeling it. Tech crafting?
That would be tech crafting. Yep. That's going to be difficulty 4.
And
You can
what,
apply effort if you want, or roll it
Thank God.
as is.
Thank God.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, that says special 1 damage, so it'll deal an extra damage. Mark a note of that.
Ooh.
Just 1, but it'll still deal that.
Ooh.
So,
Thank
mark
you.
that you've got an electrical ammo for
Okay.
your cannon.
Awesome. Thank you. And
Yeah.
I will. Who am I gonna give him 1 XP to? I'm thinking. Who deserves some XP? I don't know. I
mean,
don't
you
know.
tasted cat's meat on her fingers. I think that's worthy.
She smelled it, all right.
I
She
smelled
ate
her
it
finger.
herself.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sorry, smelled it and then ate it.
Honestly, I will give the XP
Not in the same
to
action.
Alkali because she rocked this session. It was
Wow.
She did
About to level up from just
She
this
opened
XP alone.
I'm sorry, but she did.
How much XP
She
do you
did.
have
She did.
now?
I agree.
She did. So enjoy your XP. Spend it wisely.
What do you sitting
Actually
on
spend
right
it.
now? Yeah, don't hoard it. Apparently.
Don't hoard the XP like some people do. Like,
Well, the thing is I was like, Dan, I think I can level up. He was like, no, you have to have 4 of this, and I was like, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, it was like, and then I've had 20
And now you
rolls.
can level up 3 times and still have leftover.
yikes.
Anyway, thank you, Bloody.
You're welcome.
Go follow her as well, please, and thank you. Faye.
Hi, I'm Phelan and I played Alkali today. Yay! I actually succeeded at something. Still no 20 though. Still no 20. And
Soon,
how many
soon,
episodes
it
are
will
we? Are we on 13 or
This is the 13th, yes.
13th episode? So
Odds are against you, for sure.
yeah. As for end of session, the person I'm going to go ahead and give experience to is a tough one, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to Nikel because he had Alkali's back the entire time. He was innovative as well, like with the whole PDA on the head thing. I would think that Alkali would find that really, I guess, like he's trying at least to figure out like a way to make it useful.
That's what they're for, as far as Nikel is concerned.
right,
just
exactly.
a light.
So
It's,
I
it's
think
not very bright, but I mean, it's better than nothing.
it works. It works. So I think I'm gonna give the experience over to Nikel, for having my back the entire time. And as for my stuff, I'm just gonna go ahead and take an experience, and that'll be all.
Okay. Thank you very much, Faye. And last but not least, Kat.
I'm Kat, and I played Manasa, your favorite dingy loot goblin.
Sorry.
I'm a freelance illustrator, and I do emotes for Twitch creators.
Should
And
commission her.
oh, thank you. And I also play video games. My most recent one that I was streaming was Phasmophobia. I am level 89. I really like the game, even though I can't play scary games.
It's fun watching you do that.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it
great.
works.
I feel like that's a bit of an oxymoron if you're level 89. I feel like every person that I watch is at like 5.
I'm at 1 because my team
I'm at
let
like
me die.
15, I think.
I
was
have
part
a
of
bit
that
of
team
an
that let me die.
obsession. Yes, I did. I did let Tech die. So yeah, you should come and watch me when I play the game. Definitely. I stream Tuesday through Saturday, and I don't really have a specific time. I just pretty much start whenever. And I, for end of game session, am going to give myself an XP, and I'm not going to give anyone an XP.
Wow.
Okay.
Even though
I
she
gave you
tasted the meat?
I already gave her one.
Even though I gave you the seeds?
You're still in the doghouse for the train.
Whoa. Okay, I should be too, though.
No.
Oh,
I'll
God.
take
No,
my seeds back, ma'am.
You took one for the team by
Okay.
tasting the meat.
Okay. I redeemed myself.
Yes, you redeemed yourself.
God, for those that haven't been here for the sessions that came in.
But she's not giving one because of the little spat she had with Alkali about sitting in the chair. She didn't like that at all. And she didn't like how Zairi was super willing to sit in the chair.
Okay.
Not smart in her mind. So that
Alright.
is what she's gonna do.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Kat. And I'm Domestic Dan. I was the GM of Consequences today, and boy, were there a few consequences. I love doing the show. Thank you again, everybody, for being my wonderful cast members. Please go follow all of them. Feel free to sub there or here if you've got that extra Prime sub sitting around collecting dust. Also, you can support us on Patreon to do awesome mini-series, which is pretty cool. Things like Leech, or sorry, I'm so sorry, it's Lace. I remember now.
Lychee.
Oh, it's
Lychee.
Lychee, my bad.
Lychee.
Awesome things like that happen because of the Patreon. There's Patreon one-shots. There's all sorts of cool stuff. Please check it out. We also have a really cool link that's related to this show. We're an affiliate program with Monty Cook Games because they're awesome and they like us and we like them. So please click that and check that out as well. And then for me, if you watch me other places, you can find me on Wednesdays here for Gone, or on my channel. I'm going through all the Silent Hill games right now for the very first time. Somehow I'd never played them. No, it's because I never had a PlayStation, but now I'm playing through them and doing all sorts of spooky stuff for Halloween because that's what you do in October. It's a rule. But other than that, that's it. Thank you for being here, everyone. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Dan. And thank you, everybody. We love you. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Bye.
Moments earlier, before the Sockers jumped off the wall in attack, small hologram in the waiting room looks over at the panel.